Hello. Just found another one from the hard drive. Thought it might be worth it. Thought it might be worth it to post it. It's kind of funny. It's a little bit funny. You know? You know? It's about 9 months ago, 8 months ago now. It's pretty cool. Hope you enjoy. But again, if not, I don't care. Enjoy. Oh, one more thing. So in this video, in this verbal journal, I talk about being on Adderall. I'm no longer on Adderall, which thank goodness. Just a little side note. All right, see you. Sometimes, dude. Sometimes I just forget, even though I look at myself so much, and I'm so concerned with how I look and how I present myself and how people perceive me. There's moments where I completely forget what people are looking at. Like when I get a certain reaction from somebody, I forget that I might be getting that reaction for a certain reason. You know, for example, last night I was hosting it, and this guy comes in with his girlfriend, and the guy is totally rude, and this happens sometimes. And I was like, geez, that guy was kind of an asshole. And the guy who I was hosting with, Cole, he said that he was like, well, some dudes, especially the ones that are insecure, sometimes they come in and they see two good-looking guys at the host stand, and they feel insecure. They feel inferior, perhaps, for a moment. And that makes sense, you know? Ryan asked me the other day, what would I rate myself? And I said, I think at this moment, I think an 8. And a lot of it is to do with the fact that I feel good about my lifestyle. I'm not satisfied in totality with the way my life's going right now, but in terms of my lifestyle, the way I'm behaving, the way I'm eating, my exercise routine, I feel good about myself, and I look healthy. And there was something that was happening when I was smoking a lot of weed, where I would binge eat, and then I just looked a little bit puffy in the face. I just wasn't nearly as attractive, and I always had the look on my face was always kind of like this. I just didn't look good, you know. I think I looked okay. I wouldn't say I was unattractive, but yeah, I would say me rating myself an 8 has something to do with just the objective way that I look, but more so the way that I'm feeling internally. And and some of that has to do with the fact that I'm on 10 milligrams of Adderall currently. And in the words of Tim Dillon, drugs work. You know, drugs work. And I was thinking about why, or how do I feel? How do I feel now that I'm on Adderall? How would I categorize what I'm feeling inside? And I would say that I feel like I'm on a drug, you know. That's sort of, it feels good, you know, but it feels like I'm on a drug. It feels like I'm on a drug that's increasing the amount of dopamine that my brain is producing, you know. Yeah. I got a number from my coworker Cole, the one who I was hosting with, who made that comment about us being attractive males. He was saying that Adderall makes you produce 15 times the amount of dopamine that your brain normally produces. And that maybe that's for more than a 10 milligram dose. But all I know is that my brain is definitely producing more dopamine than usual. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, so it's not great. I feel good. I feel great. It took a little bit of an adjustment period. I felt sort of strange the first couple days. And I didn't know exactly I didn't know exactly what to make of it, you know, what to make of the fact that I felt kind of weird because you know, I have experience being on drugs, you know, and usually if you take a strong drug and then you feel kind of weird on it, you just don't do it again. Um, it's kind of uncommon, at least in my experience, to take a drug and then you feel not great on it and then you just keep taking it until it feels good, you know? And and then I was wondering like can that concept be applied to microdosing psilocybin? I don't know. I guess, but I don't know like because I'm somewhat less than others, but because I'm somewhat conditioned to like pharmaceutical propaganda, for lack of a better term. Um, like when it comes to something like microdosing psilocybin, I feel like I feel like uneasy about just like trying it blindly. Although I'm not trying it blindly because there's like, you know, there's medical literature to support the benefits of microdosing psilocybin. But I feel like uneasy about something that is not regulated by the FDA, and which, you know, there's something to that. There's definitely that's not a completely illogical thought, but um, it's because the FDA doesn't always have our best interests in mind. You know, it's not. It would be a foolish thing to say that. But yeah, man, I feel like I'm on a drug, and it feels good. Um, yeah, I don't. Maybe I'll try microdosing again. But the problem is now I've been on Adderall for a few weeks now. So if I wanted to try microdosing, if I just didn't take my Adderall uh, uh, one day and then just microdose instead, my body might be feeling the effects of the absence of the Adderall. So I don't fucking know. All I know is now I'm at the beginning of the stages of being hooked on it. Um, which, oh shit. Which, you know, I'm sure doctors will say it's okay. It's a perfectly safe medication. Which, you know, they might just feel that way because they don't know any better, or just because they believe in pharmaceutical drugs and they believe in the power of pharmaceutical drugs. But me, man, I don't know. I don't know if this is good for me long term. Um, uh, yeah, and because I have experience being on drugs, I know that what I am in right now is an altered state of consciousness, which is interesting and undeniable as well. I use that verbiage with who's on a much higher dose of Adderall than me, and she said, "What do you mean an altered state of consciousness?" She like she totally contradicted herself because earlier she was saying, "I'm looking at this pill and it's like I'm gonna take it and I'm not gonna feel anxious at all." It's like, well, what is that? That's an altered state of consciousness. Like, like, what do you mean, mate? What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel sort of at odds with it. But with that being said, with no hesitation, every morning I grab one out of the bottle, put my face underneath the faucet, choke that shit down, and feel pretty damn good. I'm better. Here's the thing, it's enhancing my life. It's making me feel like my brain is functioning better, and I'm not as antsy when I'm sitting down like I am now. I don't feel the need to knock my knees together, like like was uh, like was often the case in my 12. Well, was it 12? No, it was about 2 years, almost 2 years of no medication. Um, I feel better. Feels like I'm functioning better. So, yeah, like I said, I'm truly at odds with this whole situation, you know? Yeah, I don't know. When I was younger, my dad used to tell me to not tell people that I was on medication for ADHD, and I never understood why. But now I sort of do. I kind of get it more now. Um, it's not, as an adult now, it's not something that I want people to know that I can't handle my ADHD, so I have to be on powerful pharmaceutical drugs. Um, but I don't know, man. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, the Joe Rogan podcast. Oh my God, dude, what, you're getting medical advice from Joe Rogan? No, I'm not. But he just happens to have really smart people on there, um, medical professionals who are credentialed, and have, and some of them have had studies like published by very reputable sources, so, and they, a lot of them talk about like different supplements and, you know, uh, catalysts for like the start of dementia and stuff. And I remember hearing this quote. It was like, or this sort of idea that it's like something maybe something maybe treating the symptoms but not the cause. And that's sort of the feeling I have behind Adderall, what it might be doing. um who is that? Ugh. My coworker Micah Reyes. I'm going climbing with him tomorrow afternoon. uh um yeah. Good guy, good people. Oh, clothes are ready. I'm freezing, dude. Um, yeah, so Adderall might just be treating my symptoms and not the cause. I always see these ads for this company called Ori, and it's like it has like these gummies with mushrooms with like a heavy dose of lion's mane mushrooms in it, and they're ads, so like the people who are giving like testimonials in these ads, they're obviously only going to put the people who had very positive experiences. But you know for whatever it's worth, I just saw there's one woman who's on the ad, and she said that she was considering going back on ADHD medication and instead started taking the gummies, and oh my god, it was amazing. And my dad asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and I said, "Can you get me these gummies?" And he was like, "No, you just gotta train your brain." I was like, "Fuck, dude, please." So I might just get them. There was a holiday time sale going on. They're normally like $57, I think, and then the discounted price was like 35 or 36. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I could try them. Um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, yeah, so like I said, I am feeling better. I feel like I'm functioning better, but now I have to use this harnessed increase in focus and well-being, feelings of well-being, and I have to put it in the right direction, aka advancing my life and not being complacent, and ending up like people I know, you know, where they twiddle their thumbs for years and years and years, paralyzed by analysis. And yeah, I just can't be doing that, especially because of the people that are in my family who are so successful, like my father. Um, and it's very interesting because for years I didn't view my father as successful. He was always he's never been the greatest communicator, but he's getting better. He's getting better at communicating at nearly 60 years old, which is crazy, you know? By then, ostensibly you're just kind of set in your own ways, you know? So the fact that he's getting better at communicating at 57 years old is pretty cool. Um, yeah, I never thought he was like successful because I didn't understand what his job was because he never communicated. So he'd be, so I had friends, their parents would get up and they would go to work every day. And I would get up and go to school, and my dad was just sitting on his computer, conducting business. But I didn't understand. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. So I just, I just thought, I was like, what the fuck fuck is he doing, dude? He's just on his computer and we're broke, you know? This is like right around 2008, like even maybe a couple years after as well. Um, and I was just very confused. But now, now I'm 25 years old, 26 years old in 3 months, 3 months and change. And now I see what it was all for, all that struggle. He never gave up. It's very admirable. Um, and he compared himself to me. He said that when he was my age, he just kept going and failing, and he was at a different place than me. Um, but our paths were completely different. He went straight from high school into college, and he majored in getting lit. Just kidding. Well, not really. He majored in English, which, it did benefit him. He's a very well-spoken individual, and he's very good. He has a very good knowledge of like vocabulary and correct usage of vocabulary, um, which which haunted me my whole childhood. Um, uh, that's kind of hyperbolic a little bit, but he would always correct my grammar, and I seem to have benefited from that because now people tell me that I speak very well, um, and yeah, so yeah, we just have completely different paths. I didn't go to college. I tried to right after high school, hated it, failed my classes. Uh, yeah, and so I went into the construction trades, sporadically working in various construction trades, um, heavily using marijuana, totally, um, totally limiting my potential and my work ethic and my desire. Um, but through those early mornings and constantly doing things I didn't want to do, um, I formed a new perspective about life and what I truly want from it. And now now I have an increased desire for success, but currently I'm just suffering from paralysis by analysis. Unfortunately, I'm not getting the enough hours at which I'm enjoying working there so much. It is it's so fulfilling. I'm just enjoying it so much, but in the end, it is a path to nothing. You know, it's like something can be fun, but something less fun that is gonna serve your long-term future is much more worthwhile, unfortunately. Um, so that's just kind of the way it is. School starts in like the next quarter starts in like 2 months. So um, I guess it's kind of the thing. It's kind of the thing where you got to cross that bridge when it comes, and don't hesitate to pursue opportunities because don't hesitate to pursue opportunities just because you're waiting for another opportunity, you know. Uh, so yeah, and that's my biggest hesitation when my dad's telling me to apply for this job or that job. Um, it's like I feel myself being hesitant because I don't want to step on my own toes because I really want to go to school, and I at this point, January 2025, I really want to be a therapist. And it's a long road, 6 to 8 years. And one thing I do know is that I have to I have to have a good job like during that process so I'm not just scraping by, you know? I'm going to have to do something. Um and the fact that I'm starting this path at 25 years old, it means that I'm gonna have a lot of other um, I'm gonna have to have a lot of pressure on my shoulders that I wouldn't have had I started this path earlier, because if I would have started this at 18 years old, I would have had a lot more support from my father and my grandfather, and like financially. Not that I don't have that now, but I don't have I don't have the same sort of financial support from them that I had back then, and I also don't want it. You know, I have pride, and I want to be able to support myself as much as I possibly can because I have friends, my roommates. They're self-sufficient individuals. I just feel like now is the time to really become truly an individual who doesn't have to ask for help. I'm I'm almost I'm not almost 30, but it'll be the blink of an eye before I am 30, and I just don't want to be regretful, I do not want to regret anything, and I might if I continue like this. Um, I'm one of the most motivated individuals, I think, at my workplace. There's a few people that are in college, and there's one girl named Sydney, and she's going into finance, and she's like, you can just kind of see it. She's like 20 years old. You can kind of see it in her that she's kind of a shark, that she's like that she's kind of a cutthroat bitch, in like a good way. Like she's very sweet, but you could tell that she has the type of she has a type of personality that she will not be walked over, and it's very interesting. I think 2 years ago, I was starting to kind of resent weed culture and weed lazy culture. I was starting to sort of like get disgusted by it, but 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I think I was pretty on board with it. I think I liked it a lot. And it's not it. It's not it. It's so undesirable, and it's especially to women or men uh, who are prospective partners. If you're looking for what I'm looking for, which is a long-term partner and a future and children and just a solid better half, you just you can't you cannot be like that. And I cannot believe I ever was. I had such tunnel vision, and I was so intensely in the midst of weed addiction that it's like I didn't it's like I did it took me a while to pull my head out of my ass and ask myself what the fuck I was doing. And maybe subconsciously and maybe consciously as well. Anytime those type of feelings would come up, I would just drown them out with weed and get a massive dopamine hit, and then watch some TV, watch some TV shows, watch some shit, go work out, and just feel good, feel good without really thinking about what I was doing, and it's just totally inexcusable, and I'm ashamed, but what can you do? The past is the past. All you can do is learn from the past, because putting energy into what happened in the past and putting energy into thinking about and regretting what happened in the past is, first of all, it's a thief of joy, because comparison is a thief of joy. So comparing where you are now to where you were back then and regretting where you were back then, it's a thief of joy, and it's a thief of energy, because you only have so much energy and bandwidth in a day, which is why regret is bad. Although it has its place, and it is a good thing. It is a good thing to be introspective and to think about what you did, what you should have done. It's very worthwhile to reflect, but past a certain point, it only does you harm. So yeah, it's just, yeah, I'm still getting to the point where it's hard for me to forgive myself for the way that I lived my life, because I wasted years, but I'm only 25, and I did do brain damage to myself. I did do chemical brain injuries to myself, and then also, and also impact brain injuries. So, the thought of looking at a scan of my brain is very scary, but all you can do is learn from the past and be grateful that it's not worse than it is, because I'm sure everyone has met people who are so damaged by past drug use that, they're unrecognizable. They're not very coherent. And there's certain things about myself that I feel like are lacking because of my substance abuse and, my concussions that I've had. But it could be worse. It could be way worse. And I'm so grateful that it's not, you know. It's the wake up call should have happened earlier. I should have never smoked weed. Um, but what can you do? Not much. My coworkers want me to go out with them next Saturday, and basically we're gonna stay out until like if I go, which they're gonna be so pissed if I don't go. But here's the thing: we're gonna be out until 2 a.m. I'm probably gonna get to bed at like 4, and then wake up at 12, and that just seems like a waste, you know. And then the the trio that we have hanging out here, the Ryan's childhood high school friend Thomas, he comes over nearly every weekend, and we just shoot the shit, and then I get to bed at the latest like 1, maybe 2 a.m., which is still inexcusable. But if I go to bed at 2 a.m., I can wake up at 9:30, which is too late still, but it's not noon. It's like I spent so much time waking up groggy, feeling like shit, being so ashamed, and I'm sick of it. I'm just sick of it. And so, yeah, it's like their perspective is you gotta live, Patrick. My roommates or my coworkers' perspective is you gotta live, Patrick. You're 25. Just go out, have fun. I already did that, I already did that. It's it's not that great, It's it's yeah, it's not that great. I've done it enough. I think I've had over a thousand or almost a thousand days where I've woken up with a weed hangover, fogginess in the mind. It's no good, dude. Oh, damn it, the camera died. It's kind of fun looking at the camera. This is a nice frame right here. I kind of like the backdrop of our wired shelf. It's kind of cool. All right, folks, that's it for me. I'm gonna play you out with a song I used to listen to whilst under the influence. It's very good.